What's going on, co-rollers? Hey guys, I'm just here for a couple seconds because I wanted to address something that I get asked quite continuously. A lot of people have asked me, hey, how come you always complain about your shed? Yeah, that big one right behind me. Why do you always complain about your shed? Why do you always asking to get a building? Those things work great. They do. They really do. And I guess, they've worked for me, as long as there's no wind, as long as the weather here in Florida decides to chill, I guess. But it's hot. It's very hot here in Florida, and we do get a lot of winds, a lot of thunderstorms and freak storms. It's crazy. And I'm not saying that I have not taken advantage of, the time that I've had it, but you guys got to keep in mind also that I've purchased so far 3 replacement tarps on this unit. Now this is a Shelter Logic, and I'm sorry to throw out the name out there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bring anybody down or whatever, but this is a Shelter Logic, what they call a garage in a box, and it's 13 feet wide by 20 long and 12 feet tall, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, you guys have seen I've made tons of videos inside of them, but what you guys don't see is how many times I've had to replace those covers. And those covers are not cheap. They really aren't. And that's why I've always, I'm always saying I really need a building. I really need a steel building. Unfortunately, the truth is I can't afford it. And number 2 is that where I'm at, they only allow for a certain amount of square footage that you could use, that you're allowed to build, and that's only 600 square feet. 600 square feet sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. Okay, we're talking about 24 by 25. That'll make about 600 square feet, and it can't be any taller than 12 feet tall. So no way of putting in there a lift or anything like that. But at least I'll be protected from the elements. That way I don't end up in the hospital like I have in the past. And at the same time, I could leave my tools locked in. Everything is good. And like I said, the issue with these sheds is the fact that they break so often. And I kid you not, that's the front cover. Believe it or not, it looks great. But yeah, you can see there, it has ripped apart, and it always seems to rip in the same sections. Always in the same section. It's like it rips right on the center seam. Okay, the very center seam of the let's call it the roof area there. And yeah, kind of gets a little bit old, guys. So I am trying. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm replacing the cover anymore. This is my 3rd one, like I said, and it's just too much money every time. And to do it, and it lasts maybe 8 months, maybe if you have a good run. 8 months, it's not really worth it for me anymore. So I have to come up with some other plan, some other idea, so that way we don't have this issue. And as you guys can see, all the way on the top, the rafters, I have the molds right there, which are now getting wet, or they did get wet last night. And even my shop fan over there, I got the motor metal wheels over there. The truck I'm not worried about, because like I said, this has always been a plug for the race truck, so this is what I use to make those molds up there. And the only thing I'm using from this vehicle is just the cab. Everything else is going to be discarded. So that's basically the story why I really don't want to continue using these sheds. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for having it. It helped me out for some time, and it has helped me every time I replace the covers. But this is my 2nd one. Okay, this one is also a Shelter Logic, Very nice shed. This is where I have my Volkswagen, the Scirocco, that I took out of the garage many moons ago in a video. And you can see up on the top area there, right where all the stands are, where all the, what do you call it, the metal edges of the piping, the tubes that hold the frame, basically the frame of the shed, it's ripped up. You see that one there clearly? Yeah. And all this happened yesterday. That's right, overnight basically. Had one of those Florida freak storms, and it took a toll on it. It tore it up from the floor up. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the reason why it's disheartening in a way, because I kid you not, those sheds are, you could get them maybe sometimes on special for about $800. The large one on a good day, $8.99, something like that. But the cover is it's almost more expensive than the whole thing. And I just can't afford to pay $900 every time because there was a little wind. And I'm talking about, simple stuff, and I'm not saying that the structure is bad. I'm not saying that the cover is bad. I understand the elements that the sun here in Florida is killer, is super, super hot. And it bakes everything. I mean, it'll bake the paint off of your cars. That's why everybody tries to keep them in the garages here, or tries to anyway. But yeah, I don't see it affordable anymore. I don't see it worth my efforts to be replacing it. Number one, because I got to climb all the way up there every time and try to get it all set up. And quite frankly, I think that phase for me is done. And it's sad because I had just replaced that one. I had just replaced it before starting the videos. I replaced it just before starting the videos. Unfortunately, I couldn't work in it because I have that truck in there and I have the Scirocco in the other one. So all the work that I've been doing on the Battle Axe right here behind me, I've been doing under this little canopy that you see there, which miraculously it held up. Yeah, the Harbor Freight canopy, this held up. Granted, it's open all the way around, so the wind does pass through it. It may try to lift, but I do have it anchored down with some rope and some stakes. You see down there maybe? But yeah, they're anchored down on all four corners, and she held up okay, not a problem. So you guys could see not a single rip anywhere, unlike my other two. So for you guys that are asking, that's the reason. It's not me trying to defame or shame any companies. I really appreciate all that the shed has done for me. Unfortunately, I just don't see it cost effective anymore to continue replacing those covers without even lasting a year. And there's a lot of work that I have to do to continue making videos and stuff in the channel, and I was hoping to be able to at least pull out the truck there, the Ugly Betty gas bomb / whatever, so I could start putting whatever I'm working on inside there. But that no longer is going to be possible. And yeah, it's pretty rough. And frankly, those steel buildings right now, I just got quoted for one. I had to ask to make sure. And don't get me wrong, I would probably have done it by now. However, somebody's got 3 projects and those 3 projects pull a lot of money. Okay, this isn't something that we're doing that's cheap at all. So it's really hard to say, okay, well, 16 grand, let me just throw it at that. I would, like I said, I really would if I had it. So I have to come up with something. Any ideas? Let me know. Leave it down in the comments. Love you guys. God bless you. And let the cold roll.